Okay, the next thing I want to do is to show you how I'm going to mix the dark blue that I'm seeing in here. So I started out with a little bit of purple and a little bit of dark blue. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm just going to mix them together. Clean off my brush. So I want to see what color I get first of all. And see if it's close to what's in my picture. I think that looks pretty good, and you can see I really don't have a lot of paint on here because I'm going to be adding a little bit of white to it. And eventually, but first I'm going to add a little bit of black to it. So I've taken some of my leftover black here, and I'm going to take a little bit here and then take a little bit of black and darken it up. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to test it out on an edge here of my silk and see what it looks like. Ooh, that's really quite dark. So I need to use less black. I don't want to move the camera, but I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to add some more blue to this color. And try it out again. It's definitely better. I think I'm going to add a tiny bit of 1 or 2 drops of this medium, which will dilute it a little bit further. You can see how that's getting a little bit lighter. Now let me test that out. Yeah, it's still pretty dark, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit more. Adding the fabric medium will have that effect. And I'm doing a very small quantity because I really don't want to waste a lot of paint. Okay, that's looking better now on my silk. So now I'm going to go over to my, oh, by the way, the colors I used was the Profab Violet, the Profab Blue, just a straight up blue, and a little bit of black. Move this down here so you can see. Okay, so you can see my little tests right up here. So I'm just looking at my photograph, and I'm going to start putting in some of the dark blues that I see over here around this black section. And it's really pretty dark, and I'm kind of blending it in with that black. Quite an angry looking cloud. And it comes around here. There's a little spot of white there that I want to leave, so I'm I'm just kind of roughing it in right now. And this whole area is shadowed. And again, I'm working dark to light. So I'm starting in the center where it's the darkest, and then I'm pulling it out where it gets a little less dark and sort of blending it into the white area. When I need more paint, I just load up my brush. Okay, so there's a section of white right here, so I'm going to gradually pull this paint over towards that area. And it shades really nicely on the silk. See, I still have a bit of the white showing through, which is pretty nice. Sometimes I'll use my fingers to blend a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go underneath this area now. Underneath that white section. And it's not as dark as the previous section, so I'm just kind of running the brush over that area with whatever is paint is on there, because I don't want it to be real dark. So if that happens like that, where you put a dark mark in where you didn't intend to, don't worry about it. They're clouds. They can look any kind of way. So I don't get stressed out about that. Okay, now in this area, it's not quite as dark. So I'm going to go back over here where it is darker, because I need to put in the darker bits. Okay, so right over here, it's still pretty dark. Around that little black bit. I might have to mix up some more of this color. We'll see. I probably will. But I just wanted to show you this one little section where it's pretty dark blue. One of the reasons I decided to paint this area is because you can blend so easily with paint, and it's a lot faster than trying to do it with little bits of fabric. Okay, so this area in here has a little bit of lightness into it, but right over here, it's dark again. So I'm kind of blending that blue in with that black. This is definitely a dark blue here. gradually gets a little lighter up here. So it's starting to take shape now. Okay, this goes into there's a little bit of a shape there. Down. Okay. So that's starting to look the way I want it now. So in these areas, I don't know if you can see in the photograph, in these areas where it gets a little bit lighter, I'm going to come in with a different color. So I'm just working on the really dark blues that you see in the photograph that are next to the black. So the next area that I see that looks like that is over here. Let's see. Coming down here underneath. And I'm really studying my photograph to do this, to get the shapes. This whole area is blue. It's not quite as dark a blue, so I don't have as much paint on my brush. But it's just kind of shaped like that I'm eyeballing. And get a little closer in there to darken it up. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit closer here. I think that's as close as I can get. And so I still have quite a bit of paint left of this blue. So I'm going to keep going and put in all of my dark blues that I see in the photograph. And then when I'm done with that, I'll come in and do some of the lighter blues that I see.